of course, if you're tuning into this, like we're doing this live, and I'm joining us here from Sweden, where the production is for the one-man crew, and we have Cruxer and Oolong from the United States. So we'll try to make the best we can do with the setup that we have, guys. Please keep that in mind. But we are going to take a quick look at the bracket because it has been updated now, and also just to kind of reiterate to what we said earlier. So now this is a bit of a different situation that you might be used to in the regular esports tournaments, but one thing that we want to kind of keep true in Blaston is to have the competitive spirit up and running, and we have had some disputes, but which meant that Turb0 is going to go ahead for the lower bracket final. However, we do still want to see the game happen, so Woody and Turb0 is going to play an exhibition match here as a show for us here on stream and show the best parts of Blaston for us. So that's what we're gonna have up next, and we're going to get some lobbies set up. But the winner, oh yeah, right, I didn't even update this, but of course Josie is going to go up against Turb0 then, and the winner of that match will then go up into back into grand finals here and go up against Tesseract. So, but we still have the exhibition match before that, and you know what question I have for you guys, right? It's still an exhibition, but I still want to hear it. What do you think the score is going to be when it comes to Woody versus Turb0 and Oolong? You can start this one off.
I think Woody's going to take it. I saw it. I mean, don't get me wrong, Turb0's been playing awesome this entire bracket, and I mean, so has Woody. But I think that Woody is going to be pulling out all the stops. I don't think he's going to stop just because it's an exhibition match.
All right. And how about you, Cruxer?
I am very happy to say that I do agree with Oolong in this one. I'm glad to have a match where I can fully root for my boy Woody. But yeah, I mean, I could see this being a 3-1 or a 3-2, but I do think Woody is going to be the one taking it this time.
I feel like we're gonna set the precedent if like all this like finals in this tournament is gonna go only 3-0s. So maybe we'll see something different in this exhibition match. But when it comes to builds, then, because you know, we talked about Josie and Tesseract being similar when it comes to movement, but when we look at Woody and Turb0, what kind of builds are we expecting for them to bring out? What do you think, Oolong?
Well, I think this is going to be a slugfest. I think that the expectation was in the top bracket that things were going to be sort of slow and methodical, and we did see part of that. And I think that this one's going to be a slugfest. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw 0 shield builds. I think Woody's going to bring out his signature Viper, but I also wouldn't be surprised if someone brought out a Tether.
That seems to be like the difference maker these days now, when it's just like, oh, I want something new, something different, and you get the Quicksilver. What do you think, Cruxer, in terms of the loadouts?
I definitely think Woody is going to have his Viper. I mean, it's almost a staple for him. I'm not sure I've ever seen him without it. I'm going to make some predictions. I think if Woody brings out some snowballs, then we might see some snowball connections. And if he has the snowball and the Viper at the same time, then with Turb0 being blinded, I feel like it's going to be extremely hard for him to dodge those Viper shots. We'll see. Yeah. I hope to see it.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I just realized now that we haven't seen the Frostbite being used that much these finals now, so that is an interesting thing to note. Also, I did see in chat someone noting like, what the hell is the clamp? And of course, if you're new to Blaston, there's a lot of technical terms that we're using here, because we are of course trying to get the words out as fast as possible. And the clamp, if you don't know, is the hammer, the shotgun. You can basically shoot them in an angle to clamp it together. Yes, such as Oolong shows, or how I showed, which is very deadly when it comes to this like bullet hell and trying to kind of avoid these pellets going at you. But with that being said, we're just about to get the lobby open, so I'm gonna send it off for Cruxer and Oolong to take care of this one, and we'll see you after the game. So take it away, guys.
Good.
Yep. So let's see. I guess I could start out. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead. No, I was going to explain clamp. So when we talk about the clamp, what we're specifically talking about is spacing out your hammer ellipse shots That way, they all are intersecting with your opponent's play area at the same time. So we saw a lot of that in the last game, where they would start out way back here, and then they do one closer and one closer. And especially if they're coming from both sides, it can sort of clamp you into a certain spot on your play area, which then you can follow up with the Wildcat or the Vector, or, I mean, heck, even at this point, the Viper Ellipse, and do a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. In that regard, if you're using the Hammer E clamp, it can be hard even for the attacker to use the Viper, because you are going to have to analyze the way that your own pellets have spread out, see the one and only out for your opponent, and then that's where you need to aim your Viper shot. And with the curve of that weapon, it actually takes tremendous skill. I know all of these players make it look so easy. Me being somebody who can get into the top 100 leaderboards, I can't use the Viper at all, the Viper E. So, I mean, it's so difficult to use, and but these players do make it look nearly effortless.
Yep. Yes, they do.
Here for our lag test.
We're jumping right into it.
Yep.
Ooh, that's interesting. We see Turb0 running double nades.
Double nades. Both players with a snowball.
Both players with a snowball with the frostbite.
Woody does have a snowball Viper, like I was hoping for. See if we get a little snowball test. Yep,
snowball test.
And as you can see, for anybody new to the game, snowball, when it hits, it expands greatly, which you can use that to blind your opponents, which is also even more dangerous when the opponent has a Viper Ellipse.
Yep. It can be dangerous for your opponent. It can also be dangerous for you because you can hide in that snowball as well. So we're going to have to see how many of those actually hit. We've got a very similar build either way.
All right, and that is the Avalanche and the Majestic.
We're doing it live.
All right, we got a little bit of showmanship from Turb0. You love to see it. Another thing I love about this game is all of the top people are very good sports. All right, the fake out, he wasn't even holding a snowball at the time.
Ooh, Viper. I have to remember that I have to, like, not react right as I see it. I have to mentally have that block in my mind.
That was an amazing shot. The headshot. And here we can see Turb0 using the Hammer Ellipse in the way that a typical player would. The vast majority of players cannot perform the clamp maneuver we were talking about in that way. Woody taking avalanche nades from behind, but Woody also with a massive health advantage here, only 40 seconds into the match.
Oh, anything could happen.
Right. We can see Turb0 going for...
Right, those hurricanes coming down from above.
Yep.
He ends up just getting completely rid of them.
Yep. Avalanche nade coming from behind Turb0, going to connect with two pellets.
Oh, that's going to be a lot of damage to Woody.
Multiple pellets on Woody.
Still has his health advantage. Turb0 seems to be going a little bit high. I think he was trying to get him to duck down into the line.
Yeah, Woody making good use of that shield, blocking some of the hammer pellets and getting the throw for the avalanche nade. Turb0 taking avalanche in the back and snowball.
Woo!
And the snowball to finish the match.
So that was what? That was 4 snowballs from Woody and 1 Viper bullet. So that's a total of 90 damage from 2 weapons.
And that is nearly unprecedented at this level of play for the majority of matches that you would see. Seeing 1 snowball hit is typically a surprise, let alone 4.
Okay. We just saw Woody do something that actually is a good counterplay to nades. Stepping to one side of his play area. Ooh, Turb0 taking a lot of damage from that avalanche nade. Stepping to one side of his play area and then using that to bait out the nade and then stepping to the other side.
Yes, as the nade will always aim towards the center of the player when it popped. All right, here we can see both players with somewhat even health here. Turb0 managing to catch Woody's Hurricane and use it to get rid of some of the bullets, stepping into...
And a Viper hit on the hand!
Oh my gosh, Woody going absolutely relentless with these Viper shots. Alright, we've got Hurricane shots coming down on top of Turb0. Is Woody going to have any pressure? And the snowball. A thrown nade from Turb0 is just going to pop on Woody's head for 6 damage instead of actually getting to go off. Woody blocking the Viper E shots in the middle of the hammer combo.
Ooh, all right, now it's Turb0's turn to get one of those Viper shots in.
Amazing. We've got the Hurricane.
He tries to end it with the thrown damage on the shield.
You can't blame him. He could also try to do that with a thrown grenade. I am almost certain that would take him out.
Oh, what
But
is that last point of damage? Was that
Hurricane.
a Viper? I'm gonna watch it on the replay real quick. No, it was a Hurricane.
Yeah.
Hurricane is gonna take the round. Gonna take the game. All right, and we do have a weapon swap. Woo!
Okay.
Yeah,
I wonder.
the snowball damage is scary, especially on a 2-second cooldown weapon.
Yes. And I remember before when the hitbox for the snowball used to be much larger than the actual weapon, and it was so hard to dodge. Very glad that got fixed recently.
Yeah, I mean, even compared to the Viper Ellipse bullets, snowball is also one of the fastest weapons in the game. You do have to throw it, so that's really the hard part of using it. But
Yes. Yeah. But like I was saying, I'm not at all surprised to see Woody hitting those snowball shots, hitting those Viper E shots, as that is really one of his very strong points. And so, Oolong, if you had to guess, do you think it is Turbo making weapon swap?
You know what? I think we're gonna see the Quicksilver here. I think we're gonna see the Quicksilver come out against Woody.
I would like to see that. And then Woody did not have a shield, correct? No, he did. He had one
he
shield.
had double shield. He had double shield.
Oh, double shield. Okay.
He had double shield that time, and I think that was one of the matches where we actually saw double shield being used to full effectiveness because it was going up against double nade. So he was able to pretty much deny a lot, and then also use his 2-second shield offensively as well to basically block Turbo's vision before those Viper shots were able to land.
Yes. Also, we saw the Avalanche nade getting, I believe, the most effectiveness out of any match we've had so far. Both players were actually taking quite a bit.
I think that Woody's a way of. Ooh. We got the feed. Yeah, we got the feed.
Okay.
I think that the Avalanche nade was doing a lot of work, especially when Woody was sending it behind Turbo.
Yes, it was. Turbo having to deal with the Viper E shots from in front, and then just having to pay so much attention to that, especially with the way that they curve. It can sometimes be hard to predict the way that they're going to go, and so you just don't have the brain space to also be thinking about those Avalanche nades sometimes.
Yep, especially all in the heat of the moment too.
Yeah.
Out here in spectator mode land, it looks so easy. It looks so simple.
Yeah, and something that we haven't been thinking about, Woody is one of the most popular YouTubers for the game. He's used to being in front of people. You know, Turbo might be nervous here.
That's true. Ooh, all right. A couple of those Viper, or Vector shots. I don't know why I continue after all this time to confuse those two, at least in name.
Yeah. Okay, but we see Turbo getting the initial damage.
Here we go. And Turbo swapping out one of those nades for Viper of his own.
The headshot with the Viper Ellipse onto Woody. Woody with the last second nade block. All right, and then we've got the snowball.
That's going to do some work.
Woody waiting on cooldowns. He doesn't want to start a combo with nothing to follow it up with. Ooh, another Viper shot from Turbo.
Yep, he wasn't expecting that, especially with the hammers coming out. 1 minute left on the clock. It's going to be very hard for Woody to get this advantage back here.
And I think we're seeing here the weapon swap from Turbo is getting off of the double nades. Got the Avalanche nade coming from behind.
Out of the way of that Viper.
All right, and there's 40 seconds left. Is Woody going to make some magic happen here?
Oh, we managed to see one of those.
There we go. Getting the avalanche damage. It's going to help close it down, but there is only 20 seconds left. I find it hard to see Woody coming back from this one. His Viper
he tries to drop block through it.
And Turbo takes round 1 of game 2.
3, 2,
Okay, see here. Alright, we've got the fake out throw there from Woody. Getting Turbo to move a little bit. Hammer shots coming in.
One of those avalanche. Does he see the avalanche nade being procced behind him? He does. Okay, he turned around.
Alright, we've got hurricane shots coming in from Woody. Turbo trying to set up a similar maneuver with
a lot of
avalanche.
damage there.
Turbo taking massive amounts of damage. The avalanche and the snowball hitting him for the moment he turns around.
We're only
Turbo
30 seconds into this round.
already down to the red. Are we going to see a sub 1 minute round?
Oh, the
Here
mind
comes
games.
The same combo. Oh, he drop blocks the Viper, but it doesn't matter. Oh my gosh. And we did a 40-second round. So now 1-1 in games. Woody starts every round with a fake throw. And so far,
I mean, hey, listen, it's not a bad strategy.
It's not. Get him to waste some of his energy. Turbo taking a lot of damage, standing in an avalanche nade for about half a second.
Ooh, and a big Viper hit too.
Oh my gosh. Throw the snowball low, throw the Viper shot high. Where does he have to go? Alright, we've got Avalanche Nade coming in, putting a little pressure. He almost backed into those hurricane shots, but he missed them. Then the snowball. And a great shield use coming from Woody.
Alright, those hurricanes are coming down. He has a setup here.
Yep. It's a strong combo. He can use the Viper to corral. And Turbo at probably 2 health. 1 or 2 health.
He's got a fraction of health. It's going to be weapon throws away!
And the 2 weapon throws is going to close out game 2.
Whew. Whew.
Oh man.
No, that was pretty hype. Alright, and no weapon swap. We're going right into round 3.
Okay, so Turbo must be feeling like it's possible here.
Yeah, I mean, he did take a round. It was pretty good.
Maybe he feels he just needs a moment more to get used to Woody's combo here and to get into the rhythm of his new loadout. So we've got Hurricane, Avalanche. Oh, Woody taking a headshot from the Viper. Tries to dodge it, but he was a little too slow.
It's not going to be great for him.
And that is the risk you take, sitting at the front of your platform where the bullets have the shortest amount of time. But then he returns the favor. Turbo still with the health.
Speaking of standing at the front of your play area.
Yeah. We've got Avalanche, multiple Hurricanes. Turbo takes 1 Hurricane shot. Woody taking a lot of thrown damage. And some Avalanche. You were right when you said this is a slugfest. These players are dealing damage out left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, you know it's good. We're going into the 2nd minute. They still have half their health left. That's a lot of damage from that hammer.
It is. All right.
Oh, but that's going to be a bit more.
Anyone's gonna Avalanche. Woody is just... Oh, he's an artist with the combo of the Avalanche, Snowball, and Viper. It comes together beautifully every time. Alright, here we go. Avalanche nade coming out from Turbo. Woody gonna be able to sidestep all of it?
He's swinging that. He's really trying to get inside Turbo's head here, and I think he
One
has.
connection and the snowball, I believe at the last instant that the shield went away. Alright, got Hurricane coming over the top, a little bit of a distraction.
Oh man!
Alright, here it comes, the snowball, the Viper shot!
The successful mind games.
I believe at this point, all Turbo can do is he's going to have to get his spatial awareness in his mind to where he doesn't need to look at the Avalanche. Or he can turn it around, taking the extremely risky play.
Yep.
But there's another Avalanche nade waiting behind that one. And the Viper shot bringing Turbo down to about 10, maybe 7 health. Then Turbo down to 1.
It, folks.
And the Hurricane.
Got another shutout.
3-0 from Woody to Turbo.
Oh my goodness.
That was game 3 or 2? Oh jeez, I'm losing. My, what an insane match.
I apologize to the one person who bet on Turbo there.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I think that definitely was a slugfest, just in a bit of a different way than I was expecting. Woody still had the double shields. He still had, what a lot of people were running, but 90% of the damage from both players came out in the form of Viper bullets and snowballs.
Yes, and I mean, it was just so masterfully done from Woody. I mean, And it was the same thing every time. And some of you might think, oh, well, why didn't Turbo figure it out? It's in the moment. That's so much going on. I mean, you've got to worry about that. The grenade above you, which is basically a whole shotgun blast. The Viper shots and the snowball. But regardless, I think we should let Defur hop in here.
We should let Defur come confer with us.
Yeah, I like how this is starting to become a thing in this kind of regard, where it's just like me waiting in a cage outside. This was very interesting, and I think that I mean, of course, this is a very special circumstance with this kind of exhibition match playing in a tournament. But this sets very like a lot of expectations for Turbo now moving forward. We know that, like as you said, Cruxer, Woody is very much used to being in the spotlight with doing YouTube videos and such things like that. Now Turbo, on one hand, you could also say that they got some warm-up for their actual real game, but then you could also say that it's like kind of demoralizing to go 0-3 before you go into the real one, so to speak. We're going to get into the next game soon. We're gonna have a small break before that. But Oolong, what do you think about Turbo going forward now for the next game? Where do you think they'll land against Josie?
Well, he's definitely warm. That I can say for sure after all that. I think the biggest thing he needs to take from this matchup is that he's gonna have stuff coming at him from all angles. And regardless, you really need to be using your ears as much as your eyes in Blaston. Being able to hear the like subtle audio cues through all the rest of all the audio to hear for things like the avalanche nade, even for stuff like the hurricane bullets that have a distinctive noise as they're coming down.
Yeah, that's very true. What do you think, Cruxer, when it comes to Turbo going into the next game here?
I feel like you were saying, demoralizing coming off of a 3-0, but it's also demoralizing to think that Josie 3-0'd Woody, and then Woody then 3-0'd Turbo. So I hope Turbo isn't letting it get to him. I hope that he's still going to show up and have a very strong showing against Josie. Maybe he has been spending his time practicing, as I know that Josie has. And so he could have been planning for how he's going to deal with the hammer ellipse combos.
Very true, but that we'll just have to wait and see. We're gonna take a small break, and then when we come back, we're gonna be joined by Oakfire, who is going to take it away with a lower bracket final. And thank you so much for this up until this point, Cruxer, for your casting. It's been a blessing to have you on. It's been really great to have you. We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk more to you when we end the show later today. But now we're heading to a break, so don't go anywhere, and we're going to go to the lower final. So stay tuned.